welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, we'll hear how the City of Tullahoma's city board meetings are going virtual, what Coffee County Emergency Management is up to, and Manchester is taking this downtime to work on their parks. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. Philip Scoggins spoke with Tullahoma City Administrator Jennifer Moody about this coming city board meeting going virtual and how the city is dealing with social distancing.
All right, so we're talking with Jennifer Moody here today, and the main thing we wanted to talk about is the board meeting coming up on Monday, April 13th. And can you tell us about how the board meeting is going to be an electronic board meeting?
Yes. On Monday night, we're going to have our first electronic board meeting, and we're planning to use Zoom. I think many people are familiar with Zoom right now. They're using it for working at home. It's basically a webinar platform that'll allow us to interact using our computer webcams or cell phones, tablets, whatever device we have, and you'll be able to see everybody from their remote locations.
So all of the aldermen and people that participate in the meetings on a regular basis will be at the meeting electronically then?
That's correct. We will have everyone at their own remote location. I would say most of our aldermen will probably be at their homes. Mayor Curley plans to be in the boardroom on a computer device, and I may be in the boardroom as well, set up a safe distance from him. But yeah, we'll all be at different locations, safely apart, but using technology to help us still continue to conduct city business.
Okay, how can citizens interact with the meeting since they're not allowed to go into the city hall right now?
For this very first meeting, we've advertised that we are accepting public comments by phone, email, and in writing. And as long as we receive those before close of business on Monday, we will read those comments into the record at the meeting. So
Okay.
for now, they won't physically be able to interact in real time, but we are still open and want to take their questions and respond to their questions or comments during the meeting, as long as we have them before the meeting.
Okay, how do people get that phone numbers or contact information?
Sure. They can call City Hall. It's our main line number. It's 931-455-2648. And then if they would like to send an email, they can email mayor@tullahomatn, as in Tennessee.gov.
Okay. All right. Well, this board meeting will be aired live on Charter Channel 193, and also we'll see about YouTube and some stuff like that. We're all kind of in a learning curve at this moment, but is where you guys are going to send it out on Facebook Live too, aren't you?
We do. That's one part that we haven't been able to test. But I've gone through all the motions up until pushing that live button. And I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. So we should be able to be on Facebook Live at 5:30 on Monday, and people can watch us there. My understanding is they can comment on the video. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to react to it or not in real time. So, this is a first time for us, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot in this first meeting.
Okay. Also, and on a related note, how is City Hall operating at the moment? Since I know the doors are locked, but and people can contact by phone and things. But what if you need to pay bills or taxes and things like that? How does that happen right now?
Yeah, a lot of our services are available online, including we were fortunate enough, not because of this emergency, but prior to it, we had actually moved building permits online and began taking credit card payments online. Same thing for garbage bills and property tax bills. We now take credit cards through our online services. So many people are starting to use those much more than they were before this emergency. Also, business licenses, we continue to help and assist businesses. We haven't had anyone need to meet with us physically, but we do keep that option open. If there was something that absolutely had to be done person to person, we would try to find a safe way to accommodate that and schedule a time to meet with that person. That hasn't come up yet.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for talking to me, and we'll see you at the board meeting on Monday night.
Yeah, thank you, Philip. We're excited to have our first virtual meeting.
Stay with us. More news is coming up after these messages.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back. We also spoke with the Emergency Management Director, Alan Lindley, about what they have been doing during the pandemic and where Coffee County stands.
So, Philip, we're doing better than some counties are doing in our area. As of today, on Wednesday, we've got 7 cases in Coffee County, which is less than anyone around us with the exception of Moore County. So our folks are doing something right, and we want to keep it that way. We've been working since the 19th, I believe it is. Emergency Operations Center working on requests for protective equipment and things like that, working with our hospitals, our nursing homes, assisted living, trying to give them what they need. And so it's been a long, several-week process.
Okay, so now what about if local community members are trying to get masks and things like that, like the CDC's recommended for people if they go out? Is there anything that you could suggest for them to be able to find stuff like that?
Well, we're really having a hard time working through the state, trying to get masks for our first responders and hospitals and things. I've seen a lot of people that are making masks, and of course, anything is better than nothing during this. It's really going to be hard to purchase masks through any local big box store or anything like that, because most of those are going to the first responders and the hospitals. They're taking those up. I hope that, according to a couple of websites that I saw, we should reach our peak somewhere around the 16th or 17th. So hopefully our numbers will start decreasing in the state. So we'll be on the downhill slide. That's what they're predicting, but we'll just have to wait and see. But we have seen some trends in the numbers as far as how quickly they jump on a daily basis. They didn't jump as bad today as they have the last couple of days. So hopefully we're moving in the right direction.
Okay. And so how is your staff dealing with all this? Or, y'all have to be pretty overwhelmed at this point. You can prepare for stuff, but, you have to deal with it when it comes.
Right. And so, yeah, I have 2 full-time, including me, and I have a part-time staff. And we've been going at it for 12 hours a day since the 19th. Planning, working with the hospitals and things, trying to ensure they've got what they need, planning ahead if we need to open up the alternate care facilities that some folks may have heard about, should the hospitals run out of room. And I hope at the end of the day that this was an exercise in what we could do, and I hope we don't have to open those things up. But yeah, our staff is pretty tired. We've been going 7 days a week since the 18th, I guess.
I did hear mention at one point about at Unity having was it a testing outside or something for across the street? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, Unity is testing outside. They have a tent set up outside, much like the health departments do now. And they're doing the COVID testing outside of the hospital. But now, you may be talking about, they have an alternate care site already set up across the street from Unity. They haven't put it into place yet, but it is set up with beds and IV poles and everything that you would need for a non-acute patient, or what I would call a medium patient, somebody that's not bad enough to be in the hospital but not well enough to be at home.
Okay. And can you tell us if anybody has recovered in Coffee County that you know of?
We really don't know that information because of the HIPAA laws that are in place. We don't even know who they are. Unless they self-report. We've seen one person self-report on Facebook, so we have an idea, who that is. But we don't know if any of them is covered. It's really hard to keep up with that information. It's not being shared.
Okay. All right. Well, Alan, thanks for you and all your staff's hard work during this time. We appreciate it. And we'll touch
support of the community, and we want to thank the community for doing what the governor has asked. And stay at home if you don't have to be out. Only travel for essential things. And we're all going to get through it as Coffee County in Tennessee.
All right. Thank you very much for talking to me.
Thanks, Joe.
More news is coming up in a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. John Gray recently spoke with Manchester Parks and Recreation Director Bonnie Gamble about how they are taking advantage of this downtime by building new parks and updating older ones for the future.
We have an inclusive playground that's adding on to our playground in Fred Denman Park. Inclusive means that all children can use it. It's going to have poured-in-place surfacing. So if you have the need of assistance, say in a wheelchair or a walker, you're going to be able to wheel on there. But it's very good idea. We're not isolating children with physical challenges.
Right.
We're bringing everybody together. So that's got lower activities. But for instance, we're going to have a rocker, and you can wheel your wheelchair right in there, and your friends can sit around you, and you can rock. We have a twirl. We used to call them the merry-go-round. They don't call them that anymore, but the twirl. Put the wheelchair on there. It's a really neat playground. And then this summer, probably about the 1st of July, end of June, of course, who knows what's going on, but I think so. We're going to have I call it an American Ninja obstacle course. It's paid completely by a grant from the Tennessee Department of Health. It's called a FitCore Extreme. So it's going to have the spider wall. It's going to have all these things that you can do. It's designed for youth 13 through adult. So it's going to be a unique resource that we're going to have. Artificial turf underneath it. And that's going to be at our Riverview site on the Greenway. So those are two activity centers that are going to come on board. And then we're actually getting lights for our soccer fields and a restroom in that park, which is cool. No more porta-johns. We're going to have a restroom in there. So we have a lot of capital projects that are just ready to get finished or take off if the weather will behave and we can get started on those.
You know, it's funny what you said there. Not funny, haha, but it's we're getting ready to put in a park here out Lincoln Street.
Yes.
On out Lincoln Street, and when they asked the young, because there's nothing out there for the kids who live out there, and when they asked the young kids what was the most important thing to them to have there, and the first was access to it, and you know the able to run and play, but the next thing was bathrooms. And you ask young kids why they would think bathrooms instead of a basketball goal or a putt-putt or something. Is the kid said, if Tommy has to go home to go to the bathroom, 9 times out of 10 he never comes back.
Gotcha.
Either his parents keep him there or he gets distracted. So when kids are playing, it's important that they have a bathroom to go to right there where they can stay and continue to play. And I thought that was very intuitive for young kids to think that.
Yeah, and in 2 years in that park, we're going to have our Manchester's first year-round farmers market building. It'll be open 12 months out of the year.
Congratulations.
So we think that's going to be a pretty innovative.
Big deal.
It'll be nice because we have a community garden in that park. We also have a teaching kitchen.
Yeah.
But just think, you can drop your child off for, say, soccer or whatever and go to the farmers market. It's right there. You don't have to wait for Saturday morning at 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. You'll be able to stop off of work and be able to go in there. I'm not saying it's going to be open 7 days a week, but it will be open year-round.
Or that you can find everything you're looking for when you go.
Well, farmers market's what's available, there. Yeah. But you'll have that opportunity. So we're sort of excited that that's going to be in one of our parks.
We'll be right back with more News Leader.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department, need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street, heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one!
Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
Welcome back. We had Ken from the Coffee County Airfoilers in the studio recently to talk about how you can still have fun with model airplanes while maintaining your social distancing.
Supposed to have a big 3D event this weekend, but that got canceled because of the coronavirus. But we're going to continue going on. We got more events planned throughout the year. If we're going to get this one in this year, we're not sure if we'll be able to get it in this year, but then there's always next year.
You know, and your discipline or your joy of making airplanes and flying airplanes gives you an opportunity. You know, your place out on the center where y'all fly is huge.
Yeah, we got 35 acres out there,
so
we can
you can still go out there and you can get your social distancing in.
Oh yeah,
and still go out and enjoy your hobby.
Yeah, the field hasn't been shut down. Arnold Air Force has not shut down the field on us, but we never really have more than 10 flyers out there on a standard weekend anyways. We're maybe got 4 or 5 people out there at a time, and they come and go throughout the day, so we don't have a problem with that.
But isn't that cool? That's wonderful.
Oh yeah, and most of the time when you're flying, you're usually standing 20 feet apart because that's where our flight stations are set up. So you got 20 feet in between everybody when you're flying anyways, and we're out in the open. I mean, you're out in the fresh air.
Yeah. And you know, you can holler at each other and talk to one another. You don't have to be in each other's face to do that.
No.
Most of y'all with the noise and everything probably talk pretty loud anyway.
Yeah, we do. We get loud. We do get loud.
Well, tell us about what you have here in front of us.
This one here in front of us here, this one on the table here, this is an old control line airplane. This design was in the 50s. It's called the Ringmaster. It was used for stunt flying. You fly basically on the end of wires. There'll be 2 wires out on the control handle. You're 52 feet away from the airplane flying in the center. It flies around you. And you can do your stunts with it. Loops, rolls, inverted flight, wing overs, figure eights, triangles. There's a whole pattern out there, and we still do fly it. It is still part of the AMA events every year.
That's cool.
And it's
on quick. 2 wires?
Well, you've got 2 wires. You got up and down, and all you're controlling is the elevator. That's it. And everything else is angled out, and centrifugal force keeps it going outside the circle for you. And you basically are a tank of fuel. It runs on nitromethane and methanol mixed with a 20% castor oil. It's really an old fuel. And you'll fly for about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes.
So, but you see, when I think of wires, I think of the plane being tethered to a wire. That's not what you're saying.
Yeah, it is. You've got a control handle in your hand. You got 2 wires.
Well, how do the 2 wires, if you're doing loops, keep from getting tangled up?
They get tangled. Well, when you do inside loops, you got to then do some outside loops.
To unwrap it? Okay. Well, see, that makes sense now.
They're stainless steel cables, and they smooth.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this is old flying. This is old time flying.
Right.
This is from the 50s and 60s when I did this as a kid, and it's come back. The plane is all balsa wood, and the covering on it is actually tissue with butyrite dope on it that makes it tight. So this is not plastic covering. It's an old-fashioned, like they used to do airplanes with dope and tissue. The engine that I got on here is actually from the 1960s. They don't make these engines anymore brand new, so you got to kind of look around on eBay and that to find some old ones. It's coming back. We also do combat, where you just have a flying wing, and you have two guys inside the circle around each other, chasing a ribbon on each other's plane. And that can get pretty intense for 4 or 5 minutes.
Do the wires of the two planes ever get crossed up?
But you got to talk to each other.
That is really cool.
You got to talk to each other, and when you get out there and fly it, you're usually flying, and one guy usually above the other guy flying, and you're below him, and you got to let the guy know, okay, I'm going to gun under you, and you get under him, and he's going to go over you, and you keep one hand on the guy's shoulder if you're flying behind him, so he knows where you're at too. And yeah, they do get tangled and you do land up crashing. But guys that go out and do combat will come with a dozen airplanes that fly combat for a weekend. And they might go home with 2. And then they spend the rest of them,
build some more,
build
bring
some
them
more.
back.
You know, you build them as sparsely as possible, because it's one thing: go fast, turn tight, and survive.
Yeah,
is all it is. And you're trailing crepe paper ribbon behind each other, and we got a couple guys that come out the field and do that. In fact, we have Samuel, who happens to be 11 years old and competes in that. And he's
how do you get the ribbon off the other plane?
Cut it with the propeller.
Oh, okay.
Or rip it with one of your wings, catch it, go up and catch it.
That is just, that's incredible.
It's intense. It's intense.
Bet.
And if you go on YouTube, there's some video of it out there that we've done.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
My wife, Jackie, has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 2011 at 86 degrees. The record low was in 1923 at 25 degrees. The average high on this day is 68 and the average low is 44. Partly cloudy weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of 35. Sunny weather expected on Friday with a high of 57 and a low of 35. Mostly sunny weather expected on Saturday with a high of 67 and a low of 51. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.